from the moon and the stars and the waves in the ocean. You think some bang set these wheels in motion? No, I am not rapping. That is called punk rock singing. I am not an accident, an accident, an accident. That's a 121 song with the female singer, really screamer, Sarah Merritt, in that 1998 album, When the Dragon is Finally Laid to Rest. Those were lyrics, guys. What's up, guys? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Friday, August 20th, 2021 A.D. A.D. D is in dog, or D is in Domini, right? Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. And last day, and it feels like a nice finale. I love this album from 121. You know, the Christian punk rock band. Is that an oxymoron? Can you be a Christian and a punk? Maybe you're just not a born-again Christian. You're not truly reborn. But nevertheless, enjoy this track. It's called Everybody Has It. And I do believe that it is referring to sin. From 121. I hope you enjoy it. It's not too long, but I'll talk you through it. If you want to hit mute, I won't hold it against you, I guess. Just don't tell me about it. But many of you guys do tell me about it. And even then, I don't hold it against you. Here's 121. Everybody Has It. Doesn't this feel like a finale type of a song? Closing out? Feel good? I think so. Nice. Nice. Talking about sin. Everybody has it. Nobody wants it. But the Bible says we're supposed to overcome sin and go and sin no more. This is a minor... Nice. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that. You got hit with the atom bomb, as in Adam and Eve, because through Adam, sin came into the world. Isn't that nice? But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
The Hake Report, la la la. Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about being a light in a dark place. It's phony Ayanna Pressley, that's the bald woman. She has alopecia, kind of like some people, but she needs to talk to Dr. Singh. Smearing of an innocent man, R. Kelly, and more. Your calls too.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Shout out to AJ Gallardo, the Americanized Mexican man, who is a friend of mine to this day, I think. Who made that original?
To this day.
He made the original, the Hake Report theme song. And shout out to that white Mexican, which, you know, the Irish are basically the Mexicans of the whites, right? No offense. But thank you, Trevor Wesley, for the his version of the Hake Report theme song. If you too want a version of your theme song done by Trevor Wesley or an original, contact him. He can offer those services, I think, maybe. Well, it's worth asking anyway. Excellent work, buddy. Thank you, man. He does the version that we play Monday through Thursday. Trevor Wesley's version of the Hake Report. It's shorter. I only have time to say, hey guys! But with the AJ Gallardo version, I have a little bit of chance to give you a little bit more of what I plan to cover. And the first one was what I told you about. Oh, by the way, you guys making fun of my music real fast. Christian punk, says Malkuth X. Is that X for straight edge? Is that X on the back of your hand for straight edge? Christian punk equals secular/liberal Christian. Well, you might be right. These guys from Philly, the last track of this album, which is not even mentioned in the listing, so it's not even offered on many platforms such as Amazon or iTunes or whatever, I don't believe, has a black dude singing like a Negro spiritual type of a song, like a solo a cappella song that I do believe someone will like. Nice. Well, someone is already familiar with this track. It's by a black dude named Brian Wood. That's for the end of this show. Hoping all goes well, right? But yeah, secular/liberal Christian. It's the phony Christians who think, oh, racism is a real thing. We need to address it. Give me a break. Ginger Hakey Hake with the no soul, says Ethan James. Name them too. Over on Trovo says, the albums and bands come and go like the days and the weeks. But the music, like Hake's birthday, torments us endlessly. That's right. Thank you very much, Name Them Too. Happy birthday to me. And shout out to the people, the men at the men's conference, the men and males, men and betas, at the 11th annual men's conference for the birthday song before I gave the dinner prayer, the before dinner prayer over there at the 11th annual Bond Men's Conference. I attended it. And I did the prayer for the food Saturday night. And thank you guys for singing happy birthday to me. Very touching. I appreciated it. And shout out to the people on IG who've been tagging me on Instagram. I'm bad about checking my Instagram. I'm on the Hake Report and I'm also on James Anton Hake. Can you believe it? I have 2 accounts and I shamefully neglect them both. What a mess. But thank you. Based AF, Based America First, with a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. And yes, AF does stand for America First. So don't be thinking the wrong way, people. He states, more government overreach. The Bureau of Labor Statistics recently sent a survey to employers asking about their vaccination incentive programs and how many employees are benefiting from telework. Telework means working off-site, working remotely. Wow. Terrible. Based AF, Based America First, with the tip. Thank you, man. And also, shout out, man. Thank you. You were a big help to the experts, some of us experts, on Sunday after church. Appreciate that. Very kind. Thank you for the ride. Hake is punishing YouTube. This is a minor threat ripoff, says Emperor of Cats, regarding my 121 song. Everybody has it. Nobody wants it. Well, the rest of the songs, guys, are not written by 121, I do not believe. One is by The Animals. Nice. And one is by that Brian Wood guy, apparently. Nacho's live stream says, I'm a singer now. He's laughing. Laughing so much he has tears in his eyes. At least according to his emoji that he posted. Thanks, Hake. Right on. Yeah, I call screamers singers. I guess Nacho's live stream maybe a punk vocalist. Punk rock vocalist. This music is sin. I know. This is pretty good. Said no one ever. Best lyrics this side of heaven. Thank you, Canadian David, a fellow fan. You know this 121 album that I've been playing, When the Dragon is Finally Laid to Rest? It's actually a great album. I might give it, and I am stingy about my 10s, I might give it a 10. Maybe a 9, because his lyrics are, his vocals are a little bit monotonous, similar to Stretch Armstrong, but Stretch Armstrong I give high marks as well. The first week of Men's History Month, I played them. It is Men's History Month. Thank you, guys. Is this Green Day? Horrible, says Dwight. Catchy, says Robbie. What's up, Robbie? Nice to see you over there on the Facebook crew. I have calls to get to, but first, let me tell you, this is a little soapbox, whatever. But you can, guys, maybe it will be encouraging. Be a light in a dark place. The world is a dark place. There was a Ukrainian caller. I want to give you, I don't know if I made this point quite clearly yesterday. I made the point, or I tried to yesterday, that the medical field, they call it healthcare, has been pushing out, making it uncomfortable for independent-minded, logical male, whites, and everybody else sensible, including, there's some sensible ladies, I imagine, who work in the so-called healthcare industry. They've made it miserable for those people, and many are getting out. Same thing with the police. Think about how many police are quitting because of the false validation of Black Lives Matter, which has no validity whatsoever. I'm scheduled to appear, by the way, on Modern Day Debate YouTube channel. Shout out to James over there, who is running Modern-Day Debate YouTube channel. I'm scheduled to be this coming Wednesday, August 25th, debating this guy, Brenton Langell, who I think was an Occupy protester guy who is kind of anti-cop, believes in the Black Lives Matter nonsense. I guess he's white. He has kind of this dark brown hair, long hair, beard. Kind of looks like maybe a slightly overweight metal musician. I think he's also a Buddhist, maybe, a YouTuber. But I'm going to be debating him or talking with him, disagreeing with him about the fact that I say Black Lives Matter has done more harm than good. More harm than good. So look out for that. I think that's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern, next Wednesday. But cops are quitting because of the, arrests of cops for doing their jobs and burning down of cities and smearing of cops. Darren Wilson being one of the most prominent examples in my mind. Former officer Darren Wilson either resigned or was let go after rightfully shooting and killing in self-defense Mike Brown, who was a young male, falsely called a gentle giant. Maybe he was gentle with some, but apparently not with former Officer Darren Wilson. They burned down Ferguson, Missouri, outside of St. Louis, and Darren Wilson had to go into hiding. Thankfully, a grand jury declined to indict him because there was no evidence that it was anything other than self-defense. But cops are under major attack. And we know that cops are employees of corrupt governments, both cities, counties, states, and nationwide feds. Feds are the worst. Oh, man. But nonetheless, it's driving out the decent people. Many decent cops quitting. Military. They're going after the military. I told you about that Space Force. I think he was a commander of the Space Force, which was put in place by our real president, Donald J. Trump. So-called former president. But once a president, always a president, right? He was suspended for criticizing Marxism and CRT. And after being suspended, and he was criticizing this black affirmative action defense secretary, Lloyd Austin, de facto affirmative action, right? Under sleepy Joe Biden, teaching this critical race theory, and these dumb generals, Mark Milley and all these people supporting reading Marxist propaganda, pretending that it's valid to read. It's just a bunch of atheistic mumbo-jumbo, anti-white, anti-truth, anti-American. And so we have decent men in the military, such as, I think, the Space Force commander, quit. He quit. He thinks that he can do better by going on speaking engagements. He's all, I decided alongside with my family that this would be better. Speaking engagements and maybe like a book deal or who knows what. So he's just basically becoming a talking head. How is that better than being in the military? Let them force them to fire you or something. But I don't know. It's up to him. But he said, me and my family. That drew a little bit of a red flag for me. I wonder if that means his wife and he, like his wife helped encourage him to get out and go on the gig, the speaking gig type stuff, right? I don't know. But anyway, there's military members who are allowed to quit, I think, honorably maybe, rather than being vaccinated, because they're trying to force people to get this vaccine thing. And they're quitting. There's a purge in the military of Trump supporters, Christians, so-called extremist whites, men. They're putting LGBTIQ in the military, illegals in the military, Muslims in the military, women in the military. It stinks to be white and or decent and be a cop or a military member or even a doctor. And women are weaker too. Even the sensible women, they're weaker. So it stinks to be a female cop, period, right? Because you can just get pushed around and rocked by those criminals, right? And so you can be a light, though, in a dark place if you are so led. Don't be quick to run away from California, right? People are like, oh, California stinks. Get out. It's no place to raise a family. And they have fair points, but as that Army of Darkness quote goes, a movie that I have never seen, but it's supposedly a comedy horror, go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama. Me? I'm through running. I say we stay here and fight it out. Isn't that so inspiring? Kind of. Ash, that guy Ash versus the Evil Dead. I like that line. I like that principle. And it may not apply in every case, but be a light in a dark place, I encourage. I told you about this Ukrainian RN, registered nurse, a male nurse I was telling you about. He became a trucker because he quit and I think he said he quit because they were forcing the flu vaccine for like this past decade or more. Yeah. And that's understandable. I wouldn't want that. So there are reasons, I guess, to quit, but there are also reasons to stay and fight it out and be a positive thing because they're subverting all these institutions and then they have silly doctors who say, oh, we need gun control. Like a doctor has any say about policy related to guns just because they treat gunshot wounds and shooting fatalities. Give me a break. Professors, teachers, actors, all those people liberal. Google, if you work at Google or Facebook, Starbucks, Amazon, Uber, Lyft, Twitter, Apple. Yeah, if you're a good employee and you do good work, you are so-called helping, but you're doing good. And you are a light in a dark place. So don't be thinking, oh, I have to quit these horrible things, right? Does that make sense? I have a couple of pictures of California, commie California. You know, I was driving down the road. I had a half day on Monday, half day out. I worked 7 hours and then left on Monday, right after the show, put up the podcast. and I took a drive on the interstate, on I-10 freeway, as you non-Californians call it. We call it the 10. The 10 freeway. And I saw this communist Subaru. Subaru being a car, a vehicle. And it actually says on the license plate, and it's pretty shameless, so that's why I don't blur out this license plate. I'm not trying to sick anybody on him. Do not harass him. Do not attack him. I don't even have to say it because I know that most of my people are sensible. But it actually says Karl Marx on his license plate. Look at this. KRL space MRX. That's supposed to say Karl Marx. And if you look into it, I think there's like an EMT thing, or maybe he's an EMT. Abolish ICE is this bumper sticker. It says, oh, I didn't bleep it out, but it says F. Garcetti. Not as in forget. He just cusses, because Antifa people cuss. They're vulgar people. And so, and then at the bottom, I don't know what Means TV is, but it almost looked like InfoWars, but it's a knockoff. Means TV, probably some dumb thing. He has all these bumper stickers on his thing, on his Subaru. Remember that commercial that says, love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Well, this person doesn't have love. What type of love is that? Knock L.A. with a communist fist is another thing. Ridiculous, huh? Bald head. I looked at him sideways, and it looked like he was a bald-headed white or fellow white or something guy with a big mustache. Yeah, Chris says, I wonder how people would react to a Nazi license plate. What if one said Adolf Hitler? Who's worse, Adolf Hitler or Karl Marx? Karl Marx is the inspiration for communism. He was an atheist, I do believe. Anti-God, anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-American. He didn't even want people to be working in America. He's like, oh, that's slavery. Ridiculous. Who's worse, him or... Well, it's not even really about who's worse. Let's say one is evil, both are evil. Right? Give me a break. But no, these people, Los Angeles anti-fascist bloc. Just shameless. On Twitter. Solidarity through community defense and mutual aid. We're in occupied Kiz Tongva land. This is a Twitter profile. And they also have Long Beach antifascistas. These plague rat events, because somebody said, question, if you care to explain, this is a tweet, why do anti-fascists care about anti-vax rallies? Seems like it's beyond the scope of anti-fascism. And the Long Beach Antifa said, these plague rat events attract fascists, such as Proud Boys and other assorted white supremacists. We go where fascists go. And I happen to see this because this Los Angeles anti-fascist blog, which has as its header, George Floyd murdered by police. Just false smears upon the cops. They support lies. That's what communism is all about, lies. It's a satanic thing. But this Talia Lavin woman is a Jewish atheistic, I think she's atheistic. I think she's even lesbian, I'm not sure. But she was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show talking about having been raped years ago when I was producer. And she's all, let's talk about the far right. And this guy was talking on her thing. Shameful, huh? I'm not sure where this is. Oh, Washington, state of Washington, Vancouver, Washington. Isn't that North Washington, Northwest? Andy No, you know that journalist, independent journalist who covers Antifa? He quoted this teacher, corrupt field of teaching, elementary school teaching, middle school, so-called middle school teaching too, which is junior high. Andy No quotes this one woman, Janine Kolkimo, a female teacher from Y East Middle School in Vancouver, Washington, part of the Evergreen Public Schools District. She stated, if we're lucky, we can cut out 30% of the population that votes the wrong way. By cut out, she means let them die. Crazy. She posted she's ready to let unvaccinated people die for the political benefit of the left. It's an exclusive report for the Post-Millennial by Andy No, right? She's all, I am ready. This is a Facebook post, apparently. I am ready to say, let them die. As if people who don't necessarily get the vaccine are definitely going to die. That's a stretch. She's ignorant. You make a choice not to get your shot for any reason other than a doctor's note, you should not be allowed health care. You are like the brats in class that ruin it for everyone. Wow, she calls her own students whom she can't control brats. She's a brat. That's what communists do. They accuse others of being what they are. One guy, French ball, one guy or gal says, I'd like to agree with you. This is so stupid. Unfortunately, I just can't bring myself to wish ill, even on the willingly ignorant. And she justifies it. She's like, I have no problem with that. If we're lucky, we can cut out 30% of the population that votes the wrong way. Sick person. And even being in America, some people want to flee America. Because AP News is reporting, vax mandate for interstate travel is, or at least was being talked about. This is a quote from, apparently from AP News, far left enemies of America. Say the Biden administration has promised to share frameworks for verification systems, but ultimately left them all to the private sector because they don't want to be called vaccine passport makers, right? But more severe measures such as mandating vaccines for interstate travel or changing how the federal government reimburses treatment for those who are quote-unquote unvaccinated and become ill with what they call COVID-19. Mandating vaccines for interstate travel have been discussed, more severe and other severe measures. The administration worried that they would be too polarizing for the moment. Crazy, huh? So they really want to clamp down. They've already clamped down, but it can get even worse. But my point is, in saying how bad it is that even then, you don't necessarily have to fall for the, we need to flee America, we need to get out, or we need to do this or that. Don't panic. Right? Anyway, you can still be a light in a dark place. Vancouver, Washington is in southern Washington, close to Portland, says Ledge Klinger. Oh, I guess I'm ignorant. I don't guess. I do know that I am kind of ignorant. I thought that it was north because there's also a Vancouver, BC, right? And I thought that they were not far from each other. Guess I thought wrong, per Ledge Klinger. Ledge Klinger is a pretty smart man. He has renewed his subscription to the Hake Report on Trovo.live. And has a 6-month, and it is now a 6-month subscriber. Thank you, man. Or woman, I'm not sure. Anyway. Just some interesting stuff going on, but you can, does that make sense? Being a light in a dark place. I think so. Speaking of dark places, I'm going to talk about an innocent man. I mentioned R. Kelly being smeared by the corrupt mainstream media and the corrupt feds. But I have a little bit more of details about his case. I'm calling him innocent, and you can disagree with me, but I'm calling him innocent. Because this is America. Tony in California, how are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Hank Report. La, la, la. How are you today on this beautiful Friday morning?
I'm doing fine. Is it me, or are you coming in quietly? Is Tony kind of quiet? Press 3 if Tony's quiet. Press 1 if volume's perfect. Press 2 if he's too loud. Press 4 if I need to hang up.
Oh, really? Well, you probably going to hang up on me anyhow because you hate the truth.
Whatever. Back at you.
But the thing is, I was watching and reading about the Afghanistan Taliban being taken over the city. And, I found out they have the same ideals and views as Republicans do, as you and Jesse Lee Peterson do.
Oh, yeah? Such
well,
as,
let me
name
give you
some.
an example.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, they hate gay people.
Oh, no. I don't know if that's true. Maybe they do, but that's not, we don't hate gays.
Well, y'all always talking about, bad things. You'll never say nothing positive about them.
We say positive things about the people. They can overcome. That's positive.
Well, suppose they don't want to overcome. Suppose they want to live their lives that they want to live their lives.
Is that positive?
If to them it is.
How about in reality? Is that positive?
To them it is.
How about in reality?
Reality is what? Is it your reality or their reality?
Okay, go on, Tony.
Okay. The next thing, they don't allow abortions.
Nice.
And also they hate women.
So they're not for killing babies in the womb.
Well, a baby is not a baby until it takes its first breath.
Oh, okay. Very scientific. Thank you, Tony. Reality can be yours or mine. It's different. Reality is different from person to person, and a baby is not a baby until it takes its first breath outside of the womb. Very scientific. Very scientific, Tony.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Oh yeah, very true. You're all about truth. But we don't hate women. I don't know if the Afghanistan people hate women. I know you hate women. I know you hate women, and I know all fallen state men hate women, and I know all fallen state women hate women. But no, Jesse Lee Peterson does not hate women.
Well,
he loves women.
He don't allow them to work.
That is hate. That's love. I mean, that's love.
How is that love?
He allows them to work, though. He just wouldn't allow his wife to work. But that's love.
Why? Why would he allow his wife to work?
Working wives are
How you figure that?
If they have the kids. If they have the kids and she's not home taking care of the kids. Before she has kids, she can work, I guess.
Would you rather have two checks coming into the home, or you just want to have your one check coming in the house?
One, because that would be ill-gotten gain. Ill-gotten gain has hurt America. The ill-gotten gain of women working, two incomes, has falsely expanded what couples and so-called families and what people can afford. So we're making more money, but we're doing worse morally.
Okay. Well,
is that not true?
Say this. Your ill-gotten gain started when America was named America.
Not
because
true.
When you kill people to take over,
I have killed no one.
A land
that I know.
Women, your ancestors have.
You don't know that. You don't know what my ancestors done.
Yes, I have. Yes.
No, you don't.
You don't want to talk about it. But
no, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
White history month,
there is a rightful way to kill. There's a time to kill.
Oh, there is. It is.
Yep, it's in the Bible.
What? To conquer or to protect yourself?
Both.
Which one is it?
Both.
Oh, okay. So that's why I don't deal with Christianity because
I can tell you don't like reality.
No, I don't deal with liars. That's all.
Okay, you don't deal with yourself. We know that. We know that you have no idea about yourself, that you're a joke. You don't deal with liars. You don't deal with yourself.
Also, what's going on in D.C. yesterday? Y'all guys went and tried to bomb D.C. again?
I was not in D.C. and I would never try to. I don't believe that I would ever try to bomb D.C. At this point, I would completely disavow such a move.
When you hear something about a bomb, you can always tag a white person to a bomb because you always want to blow up something.
What about those blacks? What about those blacks who've been throwing Molotov cocktails or cocktail Molotovs?
That's outside agitators came into there and did that.
Oh, okay. Those were outside agitator blacks.
And they were also white people. Cause remember that auto zone where the white police officers came with the hammer and broke all the windows out, and then he took off.
That was I believe that was debunked.
Yeah. No, well, that's your debunk. But they identify him as the white police.
My reality is the real reality. Your reality is the fake reality.
Well, the thing is, sir, here in America, you are seeing what's going on with the white race. They are losing their minds because they are not having babies no more. Their population is decreasing.
Are you happy about that?
And their power struggle is fading away. One thing is,
are you happy about that?
For sure,
are you happy about that?
One thing for sure.
Are you happy about that, Tony?
Two things for sure.
Are you happy about that, Tony? Tony,
I'm just speaking. I'm speaking on it.
Are you happy about it? It's a yes or no.
Can I speak
yes or no, or decline to answer, or I'm not sure.
I have no comment on that. I have no comment on what your question.
So you do not want to answer whether you are happy that whites are supposedly declining.
No, I don't have no comment. I'm just telling you the reality of what's going on.
Whose reality? There are many different realities.
Well, hey.
In
I'm
my
just telling
reality,
you the truth.
white's going up. White's making
Well,
babies.
That's your wishes and that's your
No,
hope
no,
and
no. It's
faith.
my reality. You said that reality can be whatever any person says.
What baby have you brought into this world? None.
You don't know that.
What baby have
You don't know that?
so you having sex out of wedlock?
No, I didn't say that.
Well, you just said you.
There
I
are
don't
more
know
ways
that, so
than
I
there are more ways than sex to make a baby.
Okay, so what you doing? You
I'm not
dropping it
telling
in
you.
a jar?
I'm not telling you.
You making donations? You going to the sperm bank?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what
no,
it is?
Tony, don't be dirty, man.
That's not dirty. That's
Yes,
not dirty.
you are extremely dirty.
Straight up, what? Saying that? Okay, you making donations? Then put it that way.
No, don't be dirty, man. I just told you, don't be
That's
dirty.
not dirty. Okay, are you making donations?
I'm not telling. I said I'm not going to go into it. I'm the one
you're
asking
not
the
going
questions
into it.
here.
So you go.
I gotta go. Nice talking with you, Tony. Appreciate it, man. Means TV. You know that communist Subaru that I showed you? Means TV, according to Big Bump, means of production. Means of production. That's what it's a reference to. Means TV is commie. Worker-owned streaming service. Because it's supposedly the people own the means of production, right? The workers own the means of production. The do-nothings, the ones who pretend like they're working, but they're just really angry. You know, the socialists, the unions, according to Jesse Lee Peterson, and it just makes sense. It's reality. It plays out as you can see it. Goes after the angry workers. If you want to get a union made at a hospital, at a vector control facility, you go after the angry workers, the ones with a gripe, which usually means lazy, trifling, oftentimes female-minded. And they are susceptible to joining a union, which is against their own wishes. It's just validating their anger. So evil. So evil. He mentioned something going on, and I will get to calls. I got Louie coming up next. Hang tight, Louie. Stay sober, my friend. Complex. I saw this on Complex yesterday. Somebody tagged me on IG. I mentioned that I went on Instagram. Let's see. White population is supposedly declining, right? According to the story. This is a Complex headline on Complex Instagram. Complex is a black magazine, right? U.S. sees boom in diversity as the white population declines. Wow. They make it sound so nice. And Complex writes on Instagram 5 days ago, the number of white people is declining for the first time ever. This is according to Tony's reality, and he loves it, but he doesn't want to admit that he hates white people and loves the decline. Because he supports his own self-destruction, right? Link in bio to learn more. So shout out to Neighborhood DC for the tip. Tagged me on there. Tagged the Hake Report. And then it has a picture from The Office. I wish every day was Diversity Day. Do you see this? Can you pull up just these first two pics inside this white population decline folder? It has that guy from The Office, the American version of The Office TV show. I wish every day was Diversity Day. But the U.S. seeing a boom in so-called diversity as the white population declines. So claims the headline. And of course, I went to the comments because I love comment sections. It shows you what the people are thinking. A lot of dumb people believe that racism exists, and so don't tell the racists that. A guy named Nate Robinson, a blue check mark on Instagram, said they about to have babies like, forget that. He didn't say forget, but he said something else. A shortened version of a cuss word. Some guy says biracial kids have entered the chat. I'm reading the comment section to this IG post. Someone said, y'all ain't bleep for following up with that Michael Scott meme. Michael Scott being the He plays a boss in that comedy, The Office. I guess the term minority needs to be reevaluated, says Nancy Lova. I'm here for the comments, some guy says. Lots of light-skinned babies running around. You're going to make the January 6th people mad, when Ahmed says. Bro, what the heck is this post? Bro, what is this post? LOL. That's awesome, says one woman named Kate. We should be a diverse nation, and that's what America really is meant to be, a blend of different cultures, says this female, presumably female named Kate, female-minded person, no doubt. Y'all remember Kanye saying the world will be mixed one day? Very cool, complex handshake, says Casey. Let's go, says little Rugrat. Lenny says, reading this statement just doesn't feel right. A sensible man. One guy says, dang. And I'm cleaning up their comments. A certain color of people are declining and people are celebrating. Yeah, fair point. Another person, let's go, LM, laughing a lot. I can't even repeat I have to censor the acronym. This is the weirdest thing to celebrate, says this one person. Looks like he might be a black dude. Sensible man. The Taliban have literally taken over Afghanistan and built their own government there, but y'all are posting this instead, bruh. Y'all report on the dumbest stuff. Who cares? There's more blank going on in the world than worrying about this. Souls live forever says, why announce something like this, though? The media low-key keep black people and white people fighting on some underhand, subconscious type stuff. Like, man, it don't even gotta be like this without the media programming. I think most people would get along just fine. But no, here comes complex, low-key telling racists to turn up. Interesting point. This post is going to trigger so many people, says some guy with a black communist fist. Okay, this is racist, somebody says about them seemingly celebrating the decline of white people in the country. They're about to make stuff happen so that population goes back up, says one guy. More diversity equals more interracial babies. I don't think this matters at all, like some black power blank or white people's falling off. Just what happens when a growth of people have less kids, a group of people have less kids and interracial couples become normal. So this is good news? Asks one guy. Because they're making biracial kids. Yeah, a lot of interracial marriage, guys. And then those kids identify with the non-whites, by the way. And then they resent both parents. Love to see it, says some purported female. Believe it's a female. I noticed that the females are the ones celebrating the most. But there are some female-minded guys who are like, a lack of Karens is a beautiful thing. Karen is a slur for a white woman who is looking out for her community. Some woman says, excellent. Pretty sick stuff, huh? Don't say it too loudly. The supremacists might get sensitive, says a male, purported male named Derek, who sells cars. Wakanda forever, says one blue check mark. Kidstagram with 3 M's. I don't understand why people are saying this caption is racist. It's literally just a fact. White population in America is getting smaller. Just like the black population in D.C. is getting smaller. Also just a fact, not an inherently racist statement. Well, he doesn't catch on that they're celebrating. Don't get those tiki torch boys started now. Why are y'all happy about this? Facepalm, says one guy with a black emoji, black facepalm emoji. See, there's some sensible people out there. Interesting, huh? Such an odd thing to celebrate, says one person. I wonder what people would say if they were celebrating a lack of blacks or Latinos. Complex woke up and chose racism. Yeah, because our borders are just getting flooded by illegals, says Tucker. Or Tucker Less. Finally, food is about to get more flavorful. Just jokes of mess. They're all going to Mars, says one guy, Jamar Neighbors. Crazy, huh? More calls, guys. I have more calls. And I will get to R. Kelly and a couple of pronunciation corrections. I see you guys in the live chat correcting my pronunciations of certain cities and towns and words. Thank you. Appreciate it. Lines are full, by the way. Let me finally get to Louis. out of Idaho. Louis, thank you for holding. How are you?
I'm doing all right, James Hake.
Nice.
Why do you let people call you by a different name? It's not cool, man.
Oh, you're talking about why people call me Hank?
Yeah, call me Lou, Louis, Luis, Luisito, Luigi. Call me Buzzy or Butzy. It's all good, man.
Okay, but those are all valid names, whereas Hank is
Hank is unacceptable.
not. What is Hank short for? Is that short for Henry? It's short for Henry, huh?
Anyway.
Yeah.
What about these,
Well, I
what about
appreciate.
these,
I appreciate it. Ever since, I don't know. I went to high school with this one guy, Mexican guy, who I was in class with him. I was called Hake. I was in PE, and he thought my name was Hank. So a lot of people think my name is Hank, and so I've just gotten used to answering to it. But I appreciate it. Appreciate you looking out and asking.
I appreciate your name. What about these people like Robert De Niro, all right? That celebrities that endorse candidates, okay?
I think
my vote doesn't count. My vote doesn't count is my point. If they could steal the election from the most powerful man in the world, they could do anything they want.
Yeah, fair point. These celebrities who are endorsing candidates does not
Clint
mix.
Eastwood is good. Clint Eastwood and John Voight, they're all good.
Right.
Because they're Republican, they're all good.
They endorse sensible people, but Robert De Niro has really hurt himself in terms of
Robert De Niro.
De Niro, yeah, that's his real name. Sorry, guys. Robert De Niro has made himself hard to even watch on the silver screen, if you will, because he's so beside himself, anti-Trump.
He's the Godfather. Whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't mix well with so-called more people voting, because dumb people, evil people are easily swayed.
How do you affect? What I say going to affect anyone else?
Right.
Who cares who you are? You're one vote, and my vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm thinking now.
Yep.
I haven't voted since George Bush Jr.
Oh, W? You voted for W, and you haven't voted since? Really? You did not? You did not vote for Trump?
I endorsed Trump, and I give him money and things like that. But I don't. I can't. I don't vote. I don't vote because my vote. Anyway.
But suppose everybody sensible agreed with you and quit voting, then we would only have the dumb, evil people voting.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know how to respond to that.
I know. Yeah, a friend of mine said, "Oh, it doesn't matter anyway." So, and it. I understand what you mean, but
enough it becomes a truth. Who said that?
What's that?
Repeat the same lie enough it becomes a truth. Who said that?
Somebody said that. I don't know if it was a communist like Lenin or something. Vladimir Lenin?
It was Adolf Hitler.
It was?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's attributed to different supposed evil people.
Perhaps. I'm not smart.
Neither am I. Nor am I knowledgeable.
I repeat things I hear,
Yeah. So are you saying that it's a lie that the voting doesn't matter and now it has become true?
I don't know. I haven't voted in so long, James.
I understand. Maybe you should reconsider that, though.
You know what? And I'll tell you something else, okay? It pissed me off so much. My wife was Filipina.
Right.
She was not a U.S. citizen.
Yep.
And she voted for a mayor. And I'm like, you can't vote. I'm like, and they were like, and I told the people at the office, she's not a U.S. citizen. Oh, it's okay.
Wow.
And I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed. And I voted just to be against her.
Nice.
To cancel her out.
Yeah. And this was when she was married to you, right? Is it your ex-wife
or we were married?
She's...
Yeah, we were still married.
Okay. Wow.
I was upset.
Yeah. Well, good for you telling on her, and thank you for telling on the officials who don't care about what's right.
Yeah, it's a fact. I mean, people don't care. They're just like, oh, it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay because you agree.
Yep.
You see?
True.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, Louis.
All right, man. You take care, and I'll talk to you again.
By the way, do you catch church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sundays?
Yeah, I do. I do, and I do silent pray.
Right on.
I actually told my mother to do that over the phone.
Oh, cool.
Because I said, look, we do the Hooper and Highland and all that. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do that, but let's do this too. And I just introduced that to her just 2 days ago.
Oh, cool. You know,
Yeah,
some in the chat, they're saying it's a Goebbels.
What, because I'm drunk?
No. The quote, the repeat a lie long enough. I can't tell that you're drunk. Don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Repeat a lie long enough, and it becomes the
the
truth. Yeah, it was Goebbels. Goebbels? Joseph Goebbels. Somebody Austrian or German or somebody non-ignorant.
Well, like I said, I'm not smart, okay? I'm
Me
not
neither.
smart, so whatever.
But I appreciate you, Louie. We'll talk.
Right, that's cool, man. We'll talk again. Take care, bye.
All right, bye. Misty Moreton on the streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Hang tight, callers. We will get to you. Super chat. Is it moral to allow Tony to make such a fool of himself? She asks, Misty Moreton. Maybe he doesn't know any better. It's painful to listen, but I feel bad laughing at his ignorant chatter. Guilt-ridden lady. Don't be guilty. Don't feel... I mean, okay, you feel guilty. Women are so judgmental of themselves and others. God bless him. We're laughing with you, not at you, Tony. No, we're laughing at him. Sadly, California's full of Tonys. Yeah. Too true, Misty. Thank you, Misty Moreton, as always, for the support. Appreciate you. No need to feel guilty. Hake, you make an awful Nazi with that pronunciation. How about a co-conspirator, as Top Beta calls me? What a mess. I want to call it Goebbels, but then I feel like it's a New Jersey accent. Noises. Speaking of bad pronunciations, before I get to calls, excellent calls on the line, all of them, I do believe. I have some pronunciation corrections. I do try to look at the live chat, guys, and read my super chats and texts. Some minor corrections. I was calling it, I forgot what I was calling it, Alachua County in Florida. One of the corrupt counties whose corrupt so-called leadership has been mandating that children wear masks against the parents' wishes, right? That and Broward County, another liberal county in Florida, against the law put in by the great, possibly great, Ron DeSantis. I know some are leery about him and have disagreements with stuff that he's done. But Big Bump says it's Alachua. And Evil Google says it's Alachua, not Yua. But thank you, Big Bump, for the correction. Alachua, or Alachua. Thank you very much. And then I was calling it Uvalde, or Ubalde. Ubalde, Texas. It's like a border town, or it's dealing with the immigration crisis, definitely. The illegal invasion crisis, the invasion. I pronounced it in Spanish, Uvalde. Ubalde, I mean. U-V-A-L-D-E. V as in Bechica. Because it looks like it's a Spanish name, right? A Spanish word. But Evil Google agrees with the chat. Nope, Hake, you got the enunciation correct. Or incorrect. Pronunciation, pronounced Uvalde. Uvalde. Not Ubalde. Uvalde. Reminds me of the city of El Monte. El Monte. The English is second language. People call it El Monte. That's the city where I went to elementary and junior high and high school. I'm just telling you about pronunciations of these names. Uvalde, Texas. Uvalde, Texas is a place where they're having problems with immigration, as well as the whole rest of the country, honestly, right? It's a national crisis. It is a national emergency, and it has been for, honestly, decades. Such a terrible shame. It is a crisis. There's some Canadian who has like a California, like it's his Spanish name, Spanish town name, and he's named after it, and it was pronounced something funny too. It's on the tip of my mind, but I can't remember what it was. But the lines are full, guys. I got to get to some more calls, and I have some stuff to talk about. Evil, bald-headed Ayanna Pressley and others. But first, let me get to Keith in Illinois. He has an allegation about something that's going on with regard to the China virus. I don't know whether it's true, but it's something to look into. Keith in Illinois, what's up?
What's up, Hake? How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, thank you.
Well, I have two things. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine, and his father had COVID last year.
Yeah?
And so he was 87, so he died this year. I mean, he's 87 years old.
Are you on speaker? Stay close to your phone and speak up loud and clear.
Okay, is this okay?
Are you on speaker?
I know.
Okay. Just speak up loud and clear. Stay loud. You kind of trail off at the end.
Okay, well, his father was 87 years old, and he had COVID last year. And he was telling me yesterday that, when his father died, other complications, he was 87 years old.
Yeah.
Well, they told him that they're going to put COVID on the death certificate, and that he should okay it because they would give him $9,000 worth of reimbursement. If he spent any money traveling, helping his father out.
Yeah.
So they put down he died of COVID when he did.
Wow. Because of the money, you get more money. The
exactly
bureaucrats,
right.
Yeah, the office workers. I can just picture a lady trying to help you out, hook you up. Oh, you get more money this way. It's like those.
Exactly what happened.
It's like those competent cashiers.
They promised him up to $9,000. So he signed a death certificate saying, I guess he kind of agreed with the COVID death. It's all a con game.
Yeah. That's something that JLP has said. He said that on, I believe it was RT America or something like that, or some cable channel. He was debating against that. Hold on, Mr. Beta Male. There's some guy who appears on Fox News.
I remember that.
And JLP said they're exaggerating. It's not as serious as what they're saying. These hospitals lie. JLP worked at a hospital in his past for years, and he knows how they do. It's all about money. And so they get more money when they claim this because there is a lot of government funding directed at this issue right now.
Right, and then they told him he get up to $9,000 if he signed the death certificate. So again, they trying to
bribery.
He's trying to get money, and they trying to get money. It's just a con game. This whole corrupt Democratic government from A to Z is total evil, wicked, and corrupt.
Yeah.
And I have one more thing. I'm gonna let you go. I like to let everybody speak. Next time you talk to Tony, tell Tony, how is he going to accuse your relatives of being from some kind of slave owner? Do he realize that tens of millions of people came from Europe after slavery? After slavery ended.
Yeah.
And number two, call tell them that no, your family was a slave owner because your African descendants sold black people into slavery. So next time you try to call me a slave owner, your people are descendants of slaves. No, you the people are descendants of slave owners because your people sold black people into slavery. You were the first one to sell them into slavery. So that's what I would give him with. And
anyway, slavery is nothing to be ashamed of, nor is killing through the means of conquering or self-defense. He was accusing my ancestors of having killed people, which, I don't know, maybe they did. If they did, awesome. If not, well, it's okay too. If my ancestors were slave owners, awesome. That's cool.
His ancestors killed people too. I don't know. They're still killing people right now by thousands every week around this country. They're still killing people right today, his ancestors. You know what I'm saying?
To this
I don't
day.
understand how he can get to talking crazy, get on his high horse.
Yeah.
When you know what I mean, black people kill each other like 40 going on every day around this country.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But thank you.
So is he, he just got some old ghetto project, hood rat woman, female spirit. So whatever. But all right, take it easy.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate you, Keith from Illinois. Great call. Nice call, says Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin, is that the Black Affirmative Action Defense Secretary who was approved by Congress who didn't want to look racist, or the Senate? I think the Senate approves the political appointees of the executive branch, right? Silly too. Shilly and silly. Yeah, I had a caller yesterday, William from California, who said these callers who basically in other words, what they're saying is, I hate white people. That's what Tony is saying, in essence, right? Their lives are a mess. And that may well be. Certainly, I don't know, Tony says he owns businesses and properties and things, but that's physical doing well. And when you work, the laws of nature means that you're going to do pretty well for the most part. But with that kind of evil in his heart, I mean, he's a joke. I think he has children, probably adult children, who knows? And I can't imagine anybody taking him seriously as a man. So what a shame. Nice guy, nice and evil and cruel and nasty and hateful. That's what I mean by nice. Happy Friday, Hank. Says Jib Jab over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. And shout out to Jib Jab and all the Twitch people. Did you know I stream on Twitch? Twitch.tv/The Hake Report. Happy Friday, Hank. And thanks for all the good entertainment you give us. Love ya. And then he says, dare I repeat this? Cover your ears, kids. I don't even want to repeat this, Jib Jab. But thank you, man. Appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and censor that. But makes me chuckle. Make me blush. But thank you. I want pho and mustard now, says Canadian David. Why? Mustard is gross unless it's that fancier stuff that goes with like a soft pretzels or Polish hot dogs or whatever. Polish sausages. Anyway, thank you for the support, Streamlabs, and thank you to the supporters Brandon M, Marcus Jones Stinks, Noah's Ark Kansas, Dan East, Lin Yen Chin, Ledge Klinger, Corbra 99, Shaggy Boy, Amazing DR, DR for Doctor, DR for Dominican Republic, DR for something else, Ragnar 0321, Brandon M yet again, First Commandment, wow, nice, and of course, again, Noah's Ark Kansas. Thank you guys. Yes, Hake Mustard stinks, says Super Dave. He didn't say stinks, he said a different word. Which I agree, mustard sucks. Don't repeat that, kids. Man, we are over the top of the hour. Yeah, that Mr. Beta Male guy who debated Jesse, and he overreacted to the truth that JLP was saying about the corruption of the hospitals and the establishment, mainstream media, political establishment, the deep state, so-called public health officials. That's Christopher Hahn, bald host, supposed white guy, maybe not, of the Aggressive Progressive is his podcast. But I have a cover song. A cover song means it was not written by 121. This track was originally by The Animals, and I will get back to calls after this short break. This is titled, We Gotta Get Out of This Place. We Gotta Get Out of This Place. Enjoy this song, and I'll be right back for the rest of Hour 2. Hang tight, guys.
Tell me that there ain't no use in trying. And my girl, you're so young and pretty, and there's one thing I know is true: you'll be dead before your time is through. See my dead man time. See his hair been turning gray. We've been working and slaving his life away. Yeah. We gotta get out of this place. And it's the last thing we ever do. We gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. And my girl, you're so young and pretty, and there's one thing I know is true: You'll be dead before your time is due. I see my dad in bed in time. I see his hair been turning gray. He's been working and slaving his life away. Yeah, 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 yeah. We gotta get out of this place. And that's the last thing we ever do. We gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do. We gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. One more time, go. We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do. We gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you.
So good. Blinking horrible, says Steve C. The animals are greater than this mess, says Butch Basham. I will vax your sons and daughters, says Lloyd Austin. Yes, indeed, that was a cover. Thank you. Hake, I can't believe you're playing this awful remake of a good song, originally by the Animals in like 1965 or 3 or something like that. Shout out to the Animals. Less screeching like a nut, more singing, please, says Joseph Gergelix. Shout out to Joseph Gergelix. Is that Chris on vocals? Chris Klein, probably not Skateboard White Chris. Hank plays the dumbest music. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate all of the generous support and feedback. I love the feedback. This version stinks. So, I will be talking about, oh my gosh, they're pushing self-esteem. Self-esteem. What a joke. But first, I got to get to some more calls. You guys have been on hold forever. Mark in Santa Monica is on the line. How are you doing, Mark?
Very good, Mr. Hake. Happy Men's History Month.
Indeed. You as well.
Yes. So, first of all, I know you don't believe that racism exists, but I'm going to try to get this question out and see how you respond.
Cool.
Now, we know the commies and the white haters are always saying that America is a racist country and it was founded on racism, you know, the 3/5 compromise and so on.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, if I'm a racist, aren't I more of a patriot than these third world scumbags that are breaking into my country and these communist devils that are telling me we're a racist country? Aren't I, as a racist, more of a patriot than them devils?
Indeed, you are. You are you are closer to the founding of America, but they want to fundamentally transform America like Obama. Yes, you are.
Well, I know Obama's the devil. He's probably he's probably the strongest advocate for Satan next to the Chinese Communist Party in this world today. So again, to be a racist is to be more of a patriot than the third world scum and their communist allies that currently run that criminal gang in Washington, D.C. So to be a patriot is to be a racist. I just wanted to get that clear.
That's, that's fair. You know what? And blacks don't even think it's wrong to be racist. Blacks who believe in racism, you will hear blacks say, I'm a racist. You know, the old school ones who weren't brainwashed to think that blacks can't be racist. They think that racism is a good thing unless it's from whites.
Right. Well, they won't admit what they are.
Right.
They'll call themselves nationalist or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Another issue that I was surprised that you didn't mention, or I may have missed it.
Uh-huh.
I saw on Tucker Carlson the other night where this animal from Ethiopia, Elia Omar, she married her brother. The Minnesota Republicans spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to investigate, get a blood type on this brother of hers that she married, and the FBI knew it was an illegitimate marriage. They covered for her, and when the Republicans were going to expose the devil, the FBI arrested the investigator, and they said that the statute of limitations on her criminal marriage had expired.
Wow.
The FBI is basically the enemy of the white race.
Definitely, they are evil.
And the other thing too, you talked about diversity.
You know, before you go away from that
Mhm.
first, because you mentioned Ilhan Omar, I know a little bit about that, and I can just explain briefly for the people, and then I'll let you get on to your point.
Sure.
What the story is that she so-called married this brother in order to bring him to America through chain migration. Chain migration, because, she's a relative, and she was brought here as a refugee, right? She came here as a refugee. And so it was a false marriage, not so that she could be perverted and sleep with her brother necessarily, I don't know, but to get him into America on false pretenses that he was her husband. Crazy, huh?
Right.
I think that's the story.
It's crazy. Well, it's a crime, and I don't know if you knew about the Minnesota Republicans who investigated on their own, at their own expense, to expose her for what would we call immigration fraud through marriage. And there is no time limit or expiration date on that crime.
Wow.
No statute of limitations. But the FBI claimed when they arrested this guy, his first thing out was, hey, she married her brother illegally. Well, that they were aware of it and said that the time limit had run out on it, and they arrested him, and nothing happened to the devil.
Has the FBI ever been any good?
No, even under J. Edgar Hoover, the blacks are going to say, well, he hated Martin Luther King. No, he didn't hate King. He got the goods on him through, by way of Attorney General Robert Kennedy, to wiretap King. We'll never know in our lifetimes what they discovered about that guy, but Hoover knew about it, and he knew King was an immoral man. But J. Edgar Hoover was a bad man, though. He employed the mafia to beat a confession out of a Klansman, totally illegal. But I know we're all supposed to hate the Klan. I understand that. So a beat down by a government agent on a Klansman isn't going to render any sympathy.
But a wrong doesn't justify another. So, yeah.
Well, I know the whole COINTELPRO program of the 1960s was directed at white supremacists, not at the Communist Party. Now, they did go after the Black Panthers and the SDS, but they didn't go after the main Communist Party. J. Edgar Hoover was no good.
Okay.
He was no good.
J. Edgar Hoover, why do you mention him? Was he like a founder, or what was he?
Yes, he was the first director of the FBI. They think he was partially black, but you ought to see this special. He was no good, but not for that reason, but just his politics were treasonous.
What's your opinion of FBI head Ted Gunderson?
Ted Gunderson, he's head of the FBI?
No, not currently, but Noel Espiritu gave me 2 honorable mentions for Men's History Month. He said General Smedley Butler and FBI head Ted Gunderson, or LA FBI head Ted Gunderson. Maybe he was local to Los Angeles. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. I do want to get this name out, or this slogan out. Diversity equals white genocide.
Dang.
And
true.
That's exactly what it is. Diversity equals white genocide. And these governors, this is a real disappointment. I'll let you go. I just want to get this out. 10 Republican rhino governors are asking Biden to dump these Afghans in their state, as well as Gavin Newsom. But of course, he's not a Republican, but he's worse. He wants us to be the dumping grounds for these Afghani translators and whatnot. And let me just say this real quick. A lot of our military veterans who were over there in Afghanistan have stated that a lot of those translators and the people that were supposed to be on our side, it was not uncommon for them to turn coat and run back to the Taliban side.
Yeah.
In other words, you can't trust these people.
Right.
And if you want to see what Afghan refugees do, just check Sweden. The country of Sweden has taken in I don't know how many of these rapists. And that's what they do. They're rape groomers. They groom young girls to be raped.
It's
happening like crazy in England.
Right, I heard about that.
But the media suppresses this. Yeah, Mr. Hake, they suppress this. That's why you may not have heard about it as much. But I keep up on this stuff. We're in danger. The third world is going to destroy our country. On Tucker last week, he showed in Hungary when they catch an illegal alien, he's out of there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He's deported
Wow.
and sent back. Why can't we do that? And vote for Larry Elder. I just sent my vote in.
Nice.
You have to tell your listeners, I would hope that they would know that you have to put yes at the top of your ballot to say, yes, you want Gavin Newsom recalled. If you don't answer that question, the whole ballot is invalidated.
Wow. Well, hopefully and flip the ballot backwards, guys, so they don't throw it out because it shows through the hole.
They're going to do everything they can to rig this election. So let's hope for the best.
I appreciate it, Mark.
God bless you, Mr. Hake.
Thank you, sir.
You have a good weekend.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. Some people say that Ted Gunderson was solid. I saw another person say Ted Gunderson was solid. I don't know, but thank you, Noel Espiritu, for the YouTube comment from yesterday's show. Honorable mentions for Men's History Month. General Smedley Butler and FBI head Ted Gunderson. I'm not familiar with them, but thank you. That's cool. Do your own research, guys. Yeah, diversity is a false value, and it is, in fact, evil. It is the false imitation of the kingdom of heaven. Because in the kingdom of heaven, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, Greek nor whatever, male nor female, blah, 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 rich nor poor, whatever. People are neither married nor given in marriage, but all are one. And you saw that at the men's conference, the 11th annual men's conference, and at church with Jesse Lee Peterson the following day. You saw all people there, decent people of goodwill, right? Halfway decent people, at least, right? And on the other side, evil, very diverse. And that was natural. God made diversity, and then there's Satan made diversity, which is what the world does. So evil. Diversity is weakness. Yeah, because people are not united around one language, one religion, one God, one uniting country, nation, right? A nation. Interesting. Before I get to more of my stuff, I want to get to quickly. Theresa in Texas has a question for me. Theresa, how are you in Texas?
Hey.
Hey.
You can hear me okay? My phone's been kind of messing up.
It's coming in and out a little, but we'll try it. We'll try.
Okay. Well, first I want to say Happy Men's History Month.
Thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And have you read the book A Brave New World?
I don't remember. I feel like I've read 1984, and I don't remember whether I read A Brave New World. It would have been in high school, like more than 20 years ago.
Well, maybe you can do the internet version of it and listen to it.
Okay.
I was guided to listen to it, I believe, by God, because it just basically showed me that we're going through a version of A Brave New World, but the female version of it. Yeah,
that's so true. And the Brave New World is basically control freak, micromanaging, evil, oppressive government, and basically the whole culture corrupting the people and turning them into robots, basically, with no freedom. They can't even think for themselves. Yeah.
And it was tripped out on, because I had never read it. I've heard of it, but I'd never read it or listened to the play. And so I went ahead and listened to it, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
I was like, we're talking about today. And the tricky part about it was the women were like abusing the children. It's like that was mandatory from birth, abusing the children.
Wow. In what way, if it's not too explicit?
No. Like when they were first introduced to stimulus, that like they put a flowers and books on the floor, and the floor was electrified, and every time the child would go for the books or the flowers, they would electrocute them.
Wow. Your phone is messing up too much, Theresa. It's like coming in and out. It's tough to listen to and understand. But
I'm sorry.
wow, but I definitely appreciate the call and the tip.
Yeah, just check it out, and you'll be amazed by it.
Nice. You have an
All
Obama
right.
phone? Is it an Obama phone?
No.
I don't remember you sounding like you used to come through quite clearly. I wonder what's going on.
Well, I had my speaker thing on before, waiting for you to come on, so maybe that's it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you,
right.
Theresa, and thank you very much, and happy Men's History Month to you as well.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear your
See
voice.
You later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona wants to address that repeat the same lie over and over and then people take it as the truth. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you for holding. What's up? Are you there? You might have me on mute, sir. I cannot hear you. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. Asmodor, in the meantime, as Joe is fixing his phone, I'm not sure. Let me put him on hold and have this guy, let's check on him. Nick, thank you. Smedley Butler says, historian, our resident historian, Asmodor, over there on trovo.live/the Hake Report. Smedley Butler was a lily-livered, doesn't sound like a good thing, major general who wanted full disarmament of the military. Whoa. That does not sound like a positive thing, Noel Espiritu. Am I pronouncing Noel Espiritu's name correctly? Lily-livered major general who wanted full disarmament of the military. Smedley Butler may not have been the great man that you thought, but I'd like to hear your side on it. Noel Espiritu, let me know. Joe in Phoenix, I do believe, is back, Arizona. Joe, what's up?
Very sorry about that. My dog had jumped on my phone and hit mute.
I figured.
Anyway, that quote is generally attributed to Joseph Goebbels,
Okay.
Hitler's propaganda minister. But you are right that there's many people throughout history that have been attributed to that quote, including Tammany Hall and Boss Tweedy. So nobody knows exactly who.
Is the idea that Goebbels or whoever said it was he promoting lying, or was he against lying and accusing other people of lying, or was he saying, I'm going to repeat this lie until you guys believe it?
He was saying it was an effective way to control the masses, to get them to think the way you want to.
Okay. Interesting, man.
Yeah. Well, I love history. Anyway, last week you were saying that you suspect that I'm embarrassed about the ghetto blacks, but which is why I object to what you and Jesse say.
Yeah, I did say that.
Which is not the truth. But again, what I've said a million times to you both is that, this wish you wouldn't paint most black people with the same brush based on the actions of a small percentage. That's my only point.
But we're not saying that the ghetto culture, which you distinguish from black culture, is the only culture of the black community. We point out how, for example, as you know, 96 some odd % of those blacks who voted, according to the polls, they voted for Obama twice. That's more than just the ghetto blacks voting for Obama. And I know that you think that Obama did a fine job based on the statistics that you cite, but a lot of us see Obama as an evil man. And for him to support, you say he didn't support abortion because abortion went down under his watch, but he did say, if my daughters make a mistake, I wouldn't want them punished with a baby, which implies that he supported his daughters theoretically getting an abortion if they were to have sex and get pregnant out of wedlock. Or
James,
and they,
full context of, hold on, James.
Go
The
ahead.
full context of that quote was that he was simply defending Roe v. Wade decision. That's all he was saying on that. And he also said that he wanted to see abortions decline during his administrations, and that adoption and fostering went up. He said that too. So,
but that's fine. But Roe v. Wade, as you know, is an indefensible decision. It's an indefensible decision. If you're a Christian,
we agree that abortion is evil.
Do you agree Roe v. Wade is indefensible?
Yeah, abortion is evil. It should not be legal.
Yeah. And then Jesse Lee Peterson knew before he came out and said it that Obama supported same-sex marriage, although Obama pretended not to until later he said he evolved right before his re-election, right? And yet the blacks still voted for him, even though because they hated Mitt Romney and they hated the Republicans and they hated the whites, we say. And so they voted for him even though he supported same-sex marriage and Roe v. Wade.
Well, listen, he's a politician, and most Democrats support gay marriage, so of course he's kind of pandered to them. And as you know, I pointed out before that Trump posed with the rainbow flag also. He's a politician.
Right.
Politicians pandered to get votes, period.
But Trump was genuine. What you see was what you got.
Well,
Obama was thin-skinned and a phony.
My point, buddy, is that, again, I just wish both you and Jesse would just not paint most black people, and Jesse says most, not all, and all, but most, based on the actions of a small percentage. That is all, buddy. That is all.
I ain't your buddy, pal. Nick gave me that line.
I wasn't saying that in a derogatory manner. But again,
as it were,
James, I mean,
our resident historian says about Goebbels, Joe is obviously and embarrassingly wrong. Goebbels was referring to the lies of the Weimar government. The longer full quote makes this obvious.
Oh, I would dispute that, but I'd like to have that debate with him offline sometimes. But
okay,
my final point with that is that, James, if you look at what's happening on Wall Street right now, there's a massive silver squeeze going on. I don't know if you know what that term means or not, but there's so much corruption going on Wall Street, and that it's really about the haves versus the have-nots, and it's getting even worse and worse and worse every single day, and folks are just not aware of it, and getting distracted on skin color and the blacks this and the whites that and all that is exactly what the haves and the 1% want to distract people with, while they continue to get richer and police the system and police the average man.
There's a little bit of truth to that, but it's not really blacks versus whites or haves versus have-nots or Republicans versus Democrats or any of that. It's good versus evil. And that's what JLP is all about, is good against evil.
Well, we can agree to some degree that is good versus evil.
Yeah.
We definitely disagree about JLP, but anyway, I want to end this on a positive note. So have a good day. And
Happy Men's History Month.
History does not have a gender or a color, James.
You sound like a woman.
No, I sound truthful.
All right, Joe. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, man. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Man. Okay, so before I get to Jarod in Dallas, Texas, I got to tell you about this ridiculous stuff going on. And I will get to your super chats as well. Self-esteem is being pushed by the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim. I remember reading about self-esteem and being personally insulted by it. This was pushed even when I was a kid. I would have been in, I want to say, fifth grade, Mrs. Otter's class. And they had this textbook that talked about self-esteem. What is that? So they say, the Skim reported in their yesterday's morning email to me, a lot of us have been facing new levels of uncertainty lately. That can mean big feelings. Women. Not just for adults, but kids too. One thing experts suggest trying? Self-affirmation. Because declaring your value activates areas of the brain declaring your value. Sounds like those black women. Activates areas of the brain that make you feel good about yourself. Feel good about being wrong. Since research shows children develop self-esteem by age 5, starting early can be key. Slumberkins knows all about that. And this is an advertisement. Slumberkins. They make early education tools that encourage interaction, connection, and reflection, helping parents raise caring, confident, resilient children. Check out their books, Furry Friends, skill building activities, affirmations, and resources here. Doesn't that sound so female? I know some of you guys, one black guy I think I heard on the JLP show talked about he does affirmations. And this just sounds so silly. No offense to you, man, but wake up, snap out of it. Skimmers can get a free comfort corner complete with backdrop posters and feelings flashcards. Feelings flashcards. Crazy, huh? Gross. Gross. I remember reading that and being so mad that I actually had a dream about it. In 5th grade. No, maybe I was in 7th grade by that point. Because we were like, in my dream, I was playing no, not basketball. It was volleyball. You know, when they put the whole class together and played volleyball? And I was pretty good at volleyball. I was pretty good at a lot of sports. I was okay, above average. Maybe average. And in this dream, like a girl that I liked said, "It's self-esteem." It was because I messed up or something. And so she bought into it, of course. A woman, well, a girl, bought into this self-esteem, at least in this dream. What a mess, huh? What a terrible mess. Hake slobbers like crazy, says Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't mean to, but yeah, it just seems so artificial. Like a false imitation of confidence. The word is confidence. Confidos is how one wise man I heard break it down once. With God. With fidos, faith, fidelity. Fido is like a word for faithful. Like it's a common name for a man's best friend, the dog. Faithful dog. That's the real kind. Not this self-esteem mess. So people can live longer. No, it was not. No, Peter R., it was not that one. This was 5th grade. I was like 10, age 10 in 5th grade. Anyway, 12 in 7th. Here's another thing. Immigration. Before I get to calls, you can call in 888-775-3773. There is one line open. Hang tight. The Epoch Times reports, now and then a judge does something right. A judge blocks the Biden administration from limiting the arrests of illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, the invaders. Sleepy Joe Biden's administration cannot for now curtail arrests of illegal aliens, a federal judge ruled just yesterday, Thursday, delivering another setback for the White House's immigration agenda. More like invasion agenda. U.S. District Judge Drew Tipton, a Trump nominee, granted a preliminary injunction sought by the states of Texas and Louisiana, shout out Texas and Louisiana, against 2 memorandums issued by the Sleepy Biden administration officials earlier this year that sought to prioritize certain categories of illegals. The case involves an immigration law provision that stipulates illegals who had committed crimes shall be taken into federal custody after their release, but the Biden administration's memos attempted to direct immigration and customs enforcement resources to detain illegals based on the nature of the crime. Texas and Louisiana argued Biden's memo would prevent ICE agents from arresting and deporting other illegals who had a criminal history. They want certain criminals to get away with it and stay here. Not included in the 2 memos were categories where illegals who were convicted of serious drug offenses or crimes of moral turpitude. The 2 states have seen rising costs related to detention facilities and an increase in crimes traceable to the memos, Tipton wrote in the 160-page order. Isn't it so ridiculous? You have to actually pay attention and show, rather than common sense says, no, deport them. They have to go back. Send them all back. The court concludes the potential harms to the states arising out of the memoranda outweigh any potential harms to the government. The court also concludes the public interest is served rather than undermined by an injunction. Crazy, huh? What a mess. It means ICE officers with Tipton's order now have broader powers and can go after a broader range of illegals. Federal government required to report back by September 3rd on changes to enforcing immigration law. So ridiculous. What a corrupt world we live in which everything has to be laid out. You can't just say, do this, and it's done. They try to sneak and find loopholes and not enforce the law. I hear that election shenanigans are threatening, by the way, guys. Larry Elder may face shenanigans from California, Newsom and Democrats, Governor Newsom, Beta Governor Newsom. Make sure you flip it around. Don't let it show through the hole that you voted yes for the recall, because who knows? Maybe it gets tossed out. Oops. If it gets thrown in the trash, how can you trace that? What, you have to go digging through the trash? Say there's an election audit. What, you go digging through the trash? I don't know. How are you going to catch such shenanigans? Just saying out loud. A Thursday caller from Canada yesterday, Thomas from Canada, said that Trudeau is, according to him, pulling shenanigans, holding elections kind of willy-nilly and setting it up so he can get reelected. Justin Trudeau, he called him Justin Castro because it's rumored that he may be Fidel Castro's son. And the Georgia Election Board voted to launch recently a bipartisan probe into the Fulton County elections. Seems a little late for that, but I guess I'll take it. Don't have high hopes. I'll get to Ayanna Pressley, but first, Ayanna Pressley, that bald-headed woman. She has alopecia, which means you get these tufts of hair coming out of your head, and so you have like weird bald spots around your head. I've seen it on other people. But one guy fixed it. One man I know, young man, he fixed it with eating right. There was certain diet things that he needed to fix, and he fixed it. Ayanna Pressley, I don't know what her situation was, but she went bald. I mean, she just shaved it all off, and then she just shamelessly goes around with a bald head like a feminist. And it is honestly a little horrific, in my opinion. But I'll talk about her. She's a total snake. But first, Jarod in Dallas, Texas. I believe he called yesterday towards the end of the show, or maybe 2 days ago. He has a question for me. Jarod, what's up?
Hey, happy birthday, Hake.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I didn't plan on saying this, but I heard your last caller. Like, he's either a liar or he's ignorant. But Obama pushed abortion really hard.
Yeah.
He went so far as to push abortion diplomatically overseas. He went overseas to push abortion in countries that were against abortion.
Yeah.
So like he was really hardcore on pushing abortion.
You know what?
I don't know. Well,
I think that's I think that he's citing selectively grabbed facts.
Yeah.
That do like, oh yeah. I mean, abortion has been supposedly declining over the years. Before it was like 1 point something million every year in America. Now it's under 1 million every year supposedly, but
wow.
It's just being replaced by other things like pornography. People aren't even having babies, and birth control is another evil because people aren't making the babies. You know, God punished a man who was supposed to, God punished a man who basically prevented, I'll put it diplomatically, prevented making a woman pregnant whom he was supposed to make pregnant, take on as his wife and make her pregnant and have babies through her, because the credit would go to his brother who died. And I think God killed that man who he was pretending like he was going to be making babies with her, but then he would make it so that she wouldn't. I'm saying it in such a vague way, but it was pretty explicit how the Bible laid it out in the Old Testament, and that was considered evil in the eyes of the Lord. And I think that's what's happening with this birth control stuff. It's evil.
Well, like you said, other things are taking its place.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love you at JLP is that you guys just speak the truth. And it's not politically correct to say, but this LGBTQ XYZ movement is directly related to pedophilia, and there's proof of that. There's proof of that.
Yeah.
But it's just not politically correct to say. But,
yeah.
Yeah. But my question that I asked yesterday at the end of the show, you had to cut me off because you were ending the show. Salvation of the soul versus saving America, and I could argue for both sides.
Why do you cast it as one versus the other?
Well, I think that sometimes we get so obsessed with saving America that we forget about Revelations.
Is that you? Is that you and who else? You say we.
Yeah.
So you personally get sidetracked by the politics.
Christians. Yes. Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely, me too. Yeah.
And then you see other people doing that as well, and you're sure that they're doing it too?
Yes, because we have this idea that save America before saving souls. I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's... And again, I could argue both sides. I heard a great sermon by a pastor named Jeff.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't be... Yeah. We don't do plugs here.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no. I'm not plugging anybody. Okay.
But I think I heard who you mentioned, and I believe that guy has been on the JLP show, and he actually disagrees with Jesse. He had him
really?
He had Jesse on his show later. We had him on twice, I think.
What?
Apologia?
Oh my God.
Apologia?
Oh my gosh! Really?
Yeah, Jeff Durbin.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we.
Wow.
I had him on because I was producer at the time. I brought him on because he made the New York Post headline for saying abortion was comparable to the Holocaust or something like that, and so he was pro-life. Yeah. So he came in, and then we had him on again, and then he invited Jesse on.
Well?
The first one was friendly enough. The second one was interesting. Jesse kind of exposed a difference on how their thing is, and then the third one. He was trying to exhort Jesse and called Jesse like a false preacher or something. Yeah. I think he's a we continue to sin, Jesus is God type of guy. Yeah, he tried to correct Jesse on the Trinity, the so-called Trinity.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But anyway, so you heard him, and what did he say?
Solution. If we're going to save America, he did have one good solution. Maybe he disagrees with whatever. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But he said, Christians, what we should do is we should breed, basically. If you're a real Christian, you believe in God, we should start breeding.
Why do you say it like an animal? We should have babies. Animals breed.
And we should raise our children up in the way of God, because the enemy, the liberals, the Satanists, they're winning the culture war. And if we raise our children up in God, then we can outnumber them, basically, And but I don't
think it's a culture war. I think it's a spiritual war. I think people get lost in the culture war, and then they get wrapped up in the culture. Just like you said, people get wrapped up in politics, forgetting that it's all spiritual.
But as far as saving the soul, I think, and I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time.
No problem. No problem.
It hits home close to me because, like, I believe Revelations is coming true as we speak. The first horseman, I believe, has arrived because many Christians are being deceived. My older brother being one of them. He voted for Joe Biden.
And he calls himself a Christian, but he voted for Biden?
He calls himself a Christian.
Was he a Republican before this?
No, we were both raised as liberal Democrats. I'm from Southern California.
Liberal
And,
Democrat Christians? You guys were raised Christian?
Yes, exactly,
Wow.
exactly, yeah. And then I had my, awakening, and then I turned away from them. But he still is in that,
Yeah.
And he gets angry. He's got the spirit of our mother.
I'll tell you. Don't assume that the revelation stuff is here or not here or whatever it is, because people read into the revelation stuff, and then I don't think that it necessarily means what people think it means, because throughout history, even before history was written down, people have been deceived, and yes, deception is rampant today, but people have been deceived throughout. Just stick in reality, stick with what you know, and be patient. Don't judge your brother, and just be an example.
Yeah, we were debating about who to vote for the 2020 election, and then he told me, and I said, okay, I can end this debate right away. And he said, how? I said, abortion. I was like,
what do you say?
Biden supports abortion.
Yeah.
And his answer was shocking. He said, how do you know less babies are going to die if we elect Trump? And that blew my head back. That really revealed how deceived
anything to justify
these people are.
Yep.
Anything. Oh, man. That's crazy.
It's kind of like saying, how do you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like saying, how do you know fewer Jews are going to die if we don't elect Hitler?
Right.
Or how do you know fewer people are going to die if we don't embrace Marxism?
Yeah, you have these two guys standing in front of you. One says, I'm definitely going to punch you in the face. And the other one says, I'm not going to punch you in the face. And you're going to pick the guy that says, I'm definitely going to punch you in the face because the other guy still might punch you.
Yeah.
So
talk about a woman's mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking with me, Hake.
I appreciate it, Jarod. Nice to hear from you, man. Happy Men's History Month.
Brother.
Thank you.
Happy Men's History.
All right. Very cool. Before I get to calls, I got to share with you this. First Super Chats, guys. Super Chats from Not Ya Mama on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Mark versus Tony would be the ultimate. Two belligerent boomers in a bombastic verbal brawl. Nice. Is that called alliteration? Kind of. Thank you, Not Ya Mama. And I thought that I saw another super chat. I could be wrong. But thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Self-esteem equals mama lying to herself instead of being honest, says Roast Master Disaster. Indeed, a lot of women, girls, female-minded dudes are insecure, a mess, incompetent, and corrupt. And then they try to heal that guilt for being wrong, false guilt though, through self-esteem. Yeah, interesting. Turn it off a bit, Hake, says Vexed Peril. I'm not sure what you meant, and that was like 20 minutes ago that he said that, maybe more than that. I don't know what you mean, Vexed Peril. Are you referring to my energy or the Christian music or what? But first, before I get back to calls, quickly, commie Democrat ladies don't care. They just want to, quote unquote, win. They're not winning, but in the worldly way, they are, quote unquote, winning the culture war. But it's a spiritual war, and they're losing. And they're taking everybody down with them. Very destructive. This is from Freedom Headlines. At least one member of, quote unquote, the squad collects thousands of dollars in rent, all while calling for canceling rent. Ayanna Pressley. She's that bald-headed, alopecia-suffering patient woman. This is a Fox News headline. Ayanna Pressley, cancel rent advocate, discloses thousands of dollars in rental income. Representative Pressley has been one of the most prominent advocates for canceling rent during the scamdemic reports Peter Hasson of Fox News. That was published a few days ago, earlier this week, I gather. So one tweet from her in response to Republican Jim Jordan of Ohio, saying America needs football, college football. Female Congressman Ayanna Pressley, a Democrat from Massachusetts, tweeted, America needs us to cancel rent. That's what she tweeted in response. What in the world? America needs us to cancel rent. And by the way, I think she married a man who already had kids. Just a side note. And, I looked down at the comments because I love comment sections at the replies to her tweet. This is from August of 2020. A year ago, more than a year ago. Joseph P. Klein, who apparently is not a Christian, he says, respectfully, Representative Pressley, we need to get money to the renters. Many landlords are struggling small business people. You can tell this is a male because even though he's a liberal, he has a little bit more sense than her. He's a little bit less prone to absolute destruction than this woman. A universal basic income, even if only temporary, would be a better option than stopping normal transactions. And although I completely disagree with the UBI thing, some of you guys are socialists. UBI, universal basic income, free money for just existing. Nothing's free. He's more logical than she is and less evil, malicious toward the landlords. Some woman says, and forgive school debt. Most students have gotten no help whatsoever at all in this. Just saying for my son. One guy says, I'd say for time being, seeing as we're still in a pandemic, how are landlords going to pay bills? I agree with you, but I'm just concerned about the logistics. Must be a male. Or maybe it's a sensible woman. Halfway. To cancel rent, you must cancel property taxes, one guy says. Cancel utilities. Cancel monthly HOA, homeowners association dues. Cancel maintenance and cancel mortgage. A few countries have this system, Cuba, North Korea, etc. There's no ownership, as the communists own, and you work for rent. But some dummy, can I say that? Idiot is what I wanted to say. Says, amen, Congresswoman. Ridiculous. So that was her in August, and then again in December of 2020. Keeping families housed, this is female Congressman Ayanna Pressley. Keeping families housed is a matter of public health. We must cancel rent, extend eviction and foreclosure moratoriums, provide rental assistance, and offer legal representation for those at risk of eviction. This is a public health emergency. And she shared an article from CNBC with a bunch of radical, evil, stupid, can I say that word? Housing advocates for the unhoused type of thing. Stop mass foreclosures and evictions. Ridiculous. So, according to Fox News, Ayanna Pressley's financial disclosure filed last Friday, disclosed between $5,000 and $15,000 in rental income from a Boston property in her husband's name. The property was converted into a multi-family apartment after it was purchased, according to Pressley's disclosure, and her office did not immediately return Fox News' request for comment on whether she and her husband canceled rent for their tenants at any point in 2020. She disclosed the same range of rental income between $5,000 and $15,000 in 2020 as she did for 2019 before this scam-demic began. They don't care about being hypocrites. They don't care. They just want to make their money and still win. So nor should we care about their false values of, be consistent now. Right? Ridiculous. By the way, I realized that the Taliban did not, I don't think, do 9/11. Because I keep on reading the Taliban are terrorists, and I think that they probably are/were. Now they're in charge, so they don't have to be terrorists, right? Now they're the government. But I think 9/11 was blamed on Al-Qaeda. Maybe the Taliban harbored Osama bin Laden, whom Bill Clinton could have nabbed, I heard, way back. Some people say others did 9/11. Just a side note, the Taliban spokesman said that no groups will be allowed to use Afghanistan for terrorist attacks. See, that's wonderful. That's according to the Epic Times. The Taliban are the good guys now. Silly Tony. Joke of a person from California was saying that James Hake and Jesse Lee Peterson are just like the Taliban. They hate women, which is not true. We hate women. We hate blacks, which is not true, or something like that. We don't support abortion. Oh yeah, we hate the LGBT, which is not true. Tony is the one who hates the LGBT, who pretends. Say who others are, Hake, says White. Others include, they say Bush, they say Netanyahu, they say Israel, they say dancing Israelis, all kinds of things. Did 9/11. I don't know. But, yeah, Tony's silly. Oh, let me get to Casey out of Calgary, Canada. He wants to talk about vaccine passports in Canada. Casey, what's up?
Yeah, so I don't know. I just I'm gonna try to call in the morning and talk to Jesse also about it because I don't even know what to think now. But basically, Trudeau comes out. I don't know if you've seen this, you probably have, but he comes out and he says we're gonna have to have vaccine passports for anyone who wants to board a plane or a train domestically in Canada.
Yeah.
And man, I got to tell you, like, it's hard to feel love for someone like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's because you're not supposed to feel love. It's not a feeling.
What do you? Oh, really?
Yeah, love. It's not a verb. Well, it's also a verb. That's a reference to like a DC Talk song, which is an old Christian band from back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not love as JLP. You can definitely call Jesse Lee Peterson on this. He's the expert on what love is.
Yeah.
Or an expert. But love means not hating. You do right. You love what's right. You love the truth, and you don't resent. So you probably do resent the guy. Be honest with yourself about it. He is evil, but don't hate evil. Don't be overcome by evil. Overcome evil with good.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm struggling with. Like, I almost like I wouldn't say I feel anger.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like ashamed, disappointed.
That's all the same thing, man. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely call JLP on this, man. But a lot of people can relate to you.
I mean, I'm so lucky. So I called in. Actually, I'm so honored, Jesse. It seems like you guys took the excerpt of my call and posted it up. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, he didn't convince me, but like the whole thing about moving away and all this stuff, and everything was telling me I needed to get to Alberta. So I'm here now, and luckily, the person who's the spokesperson for the premier's office over here, which is basically like the head of Alberta, said that says Alberta won't be introducing a vaccine passport domestically, nor will we be supporting the use of government of Canada's international travel credential for uses within Alberta's borders. So yeah, I moved here mostly because listening to Jesse, moving out of my house and getting far away, and then things just kind of brought me here. So I kind of just went with the flow, and I'm so happy because in Montreal, where I came from, they've already implemented. Well, they're implementing, but it's going to start in September, I think, or October, where you can't go to bars, restaurants, and all that stuff without a vaccine passport.
Right.
So, and now I'm reading this, and I'm like, man, anywhere else in Canada, I would have been completely screwed,
Yeah.
But yeah, just I'm struggling with like I have some anger towards Trudeau, and I'm like,
yeah.
It's been
well,
a
at
while.
least it's best to be honest about it rather than try to convince yourself that you're not angry or you do have love. A lot of people lie to themselves.
Yeah, no, I immediately when I'm experiencing it, it's uncomfortable because it's been a while since I've been pretty good for a while because I've been doing this stuff like pretty regularly.
Yeah.
And
man, I gotta end here. We are overtime, but I appreciate your call, man. You're definitely welcome to call again, and make sure you stick with prayer.
Yeah.
Pray without ceasing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. All right, thanks.
And
Nick.
if you want
do a
private
great job.
counseling, JLP does private counseling. You don't have to wait till he's on air to call in and all that. You can call the bond office. 1-800-411-BOND is an easy number to remember. 800-411-BOND, which is 2663.
Yeah.
And that even works for overseas, just FYI. I mean, you're not overseas. International.
No.
But call the bond office and you can schedule a counseling. It's affordable, either over the phone or by Skype or in person, whatever.
Oh,
just
awesome.
a suggestion. You don't have to do it, but you may like it.
I'm gonna try to see if I can resolve this with the silent prayer.
Nice.
But it's just today I read it up and really distracted me, got lost in my thoughts, and I'm like, man, this is not good.
That's what they want.
They're catching me.
Yep. Well, take care, Casey. Happy Men's History Month to you.
Happy Men's History Month, sir.
Maybe
Have
I'll
a
see
great
you in the
day.
church chat, or you don't even have to participate in the chat. The chat is the snake pit. But church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Thanks, man. Take care.
See me around. All the best. Bye.
All right. We are overtime, guys. Do we have time for this last 121 song? It's actually on the 121 album by Brian Wood, though. No Temptation, and it starts off with Don't Be Afraid. Enjoy, guys. And thefallenstate.tv, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Take care.
You know, when I say don't be afraid, you know what I really mean. Don't even be afraid to die.
There is no temptation taking you, but such is a common to man. For God is faithful, my friend, don't you know? The sovereign God is faithful. Never will he allow you to be tempted above what you are able to deal with. But every time you're tempted to sin, my friend, God will always give a way to escape. So that you can bear the trial when it comes and stand up underneath temptations. That's why you should flee from idolatry, because God is faithful to you. You can't drink from the cup of the Lord and hold on to the demon's chalice too. You either have to drink from the cup of life or stick with the cup of death. You can have a part at the Lord's table if your seat is reserved at the demon's feast. Even Jesus taught you the same, my friend. You can only serve one master. Are you trying to arouse the Lord to jealousy? Do you think you're stronger than him, my friend? Don't forget your history. Our forefathers were all under the cloud. They all passed through the sea, baptized into Moses in the cloud and the sea. Don't forget your history. They all ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink. They drank from the spiritual rock with them. The rock was Christ, the King of Kings. But most of them displeased the Lord our God, so he scattered them over the desert. Now these things were written as examples to us, to keep our hearts pure and just. 23,000 Israelites fell because they turned away from the Lord. So if you think you're standing firm, my friend, be careful that you do not fall. And some of them putting the Lord to the test. The Lord killed many with snakes. So if you think you got it made in the shade, be careful that you're not a fake. There is no temptation taking you, but such is a common to man. For God is faithful, my friend, don't you know? The sovereign God is faithful. Never will he allow you to be tempted above what you are able to deal
But every time you're tempted to sin, my friend, and God will always give a way to escape. So that you can bear the trial when it comes and stand up underneath temptations. That's why you should flee from idolatry, because God is faithful to you. God is faithful to you. God is faithful to you.